Hello. Welcome to the Tutors of Life podcast, where we research life so you don't have to. Episode 323. This is your host, Shaun Tutor.
And this is Sam. And this is a Tutor episode where we try to teach you something new.
What's up?
It's another day.
Another day, another not dollar, because it's Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Babe, what did we get today? What did we get today? What did we pick up?
Freeze dryer.
Mm-hmm.
Freeze drying life, baby.
You excited?
I am pretty excited. I think it's going to have a lot of uses. After watching way too many reviews and shit of people going, it's not really worth the money, but it's worth it if you... Like, if you don't have money, it's not worth the money. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, like, if it doesn't affect you, having one's really nice if you have, like, certain uses for it.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
And I realized I cared more about retaining the nutrients and things and then, like, freeze-drying shit for Mimi and for us for the nutrient aspect more than I did for price.
Yeah. I think, too, like, once we have kids, it's going to be really, really helpful.
Yeah, I think so.
Because you can make lots of, like, kid snacks with it and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it really depends on how crazy you want to go, because, like, we spend a good amount of time on meal prep for Mimi. Mm-hmm. And chatting with Jim about it, because he does a lot of freeze drying, kind of what was, like, the decider in us going that route. Mm-hmm. Was that he once a month takes like a full Sunday and meal preps for his two dogs for the whole month.
Right.
And
they are a lot smaller than Mimi.
Yeah, but like he said, he's like, my two equal your one.
Okay.
I was like, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, we could do it in one day instead of doing it twice a week.
Right. Twice a week. So yeah, you're talking twice a week we do it for her currentently. We could do it in a day.
Yeah. Which would be really convenient for when we go on vacations.
Oh, dude, it'd be, I mean, overall, because, like, we spend a lot of the time Sundays, like, getting shit done. Mm-hmm. So if we were to prep stuff and then get it in the freeze dryer and then the next day on Monday, or, like, Saturday, if we're home on a full weekend.
Yeah.
Prep Saturday, get it freeze dry and whatever, because it takes like 20 to 40 hours to freeze dry shit.
Right, yeah.
So, but anyways... it's just, for what we decided for us, it was worth it for what we wanted to use it for. Mm-hmm. Now, does it make sense for most people? Probably not. Is it like a doomsday prepper thing? Not really, because if anything happens, it takes like a lot of electricity to run it. It's 100 fucking pounds, so you're not bringing it with you anywhere, but... yeah, for what we wanted it for, I think it's a pretty sweet deal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. What else you got? We did that. We did some corn day.
Corn.
Now that I'm not stuffed to the gills and want to take a nap, I wish I would have ate more corn. But, like, in the moment, I was like, if I eat more corn, I'm going to die.
I could definitely have done another corn cob or two.
God, dude. I could have, but I just, like, my body was like, hey, dude. And then when we were at Shields getting the freeze dryer.
You're like, I could have done with more corn.
No, I was still so miserable. And I, like, saw the sweets. And usually I can always put down sweets. I saw the sweets and I was like, I don't even want to buy one.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with myself.
I can see that.
So, but that corn was fucking good,
so good, dude. It was perfect, too, because I love... Like, I've been craving corn on the cob, and I was just like, I know corn day's coming, and I'm so excited.
Corn on the... You had 4 cobs?
5.
5 cobs?
I had
Jesus.
5 cobs. Cob number 4 was a little small, but still, 5 cobs.
Just 5 fucking cobs going down. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Okay, what are we tuning about?
All right, guys, what we're going to do... We're going to... We're going to discuss things I observed this weekend. Conversations I had, things I saw that made me think. And we're going to toss it out here into the ether. You guys can take it for what it is. Take some of it, take none of it. Whatever. All right, so the first thing I realized was people tend to glorify drinking.
Especially in Wisconsin.
Yeah. Wisconsin's huge on glorifying drinking.
Wisconsin and the U.S. Because in, like, Europe, just real quick, they... it's just such a casual thing for them.
Right.
So they...
Except Czech Republic. They get fucked up there. That's the most drunk country in the world.
Oh, yeah.
They get after it.
Most places, they have, like, a drink with lunch, a drink with dinner.
Yeah.
And that's about it. So it's a much more casual thing, like, oh, like, you just have a drink with lunch and you have a drink with dinner, and that's it. Anyways, continue.
They do club late, though, over there.
In some,
like 5 a.m.
Some countries, Spain was ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Do they pound drinks? They have to.
Oh, they have to.
They have to pound drinks. Anyways, the whole thing is, dude, I think, like, we recently found Warsteiner. It's a German beer, brewed in Germany, packaged in Germany. If you guys imported from Germany. So if you guys listen to any of our shit, you know, like how much shit that goes into beer. And if you look up like your pesticides and how like much bad shit you're getting in a normal light beer, a normal beer,
like glyphosate is one of the biggest ones.
It's absurd. It's really bad. And you got to think most of the beer is being made with wheat, and it's like with wheat, corn, or rice. And all those things are sprayed so much with pesticides and shit. So anyways, I always feel bad after I drink light beers. Like I get flushed, I get hot, I get red, almost like an allergic reaction. I get bloated, I feel like shit, right? I still drink them every now and again. But then I have these beers. Like when we're over in Germany, I drink every day.
In any European country.
Every European country. I'm sorry, did I say Germany? I'm sorry. When we are over in Europe, any European country, I drink every day. Couple drinks a day typically, and I have zero issues. I feel great. I wake up the next day not feeling like shit. I'm not like overly bloated, inflamed, nothing, right? And so when we first noticed it, when we went to Poland, Czech Republic, and Germany 2 years ago.
Because anytime we've been to foreign countries before that, none of that stuff had affected us. And maybe it was because we were younger, our bodies were...
Well, we were just a lot less aware.
Yeah.
I'm sure our bodies didn't love alcohol, like drinking beers back then. I'm sure we just weren't that in tune with our body yet.
But I do remember, like, when I went to Spain the first time, I loved Heineken. Heineken was so good in Europe, and I was just like, why doesn't this taste so good in the U.S.?
Sure.
That, and then... all wine in Italy was delicious.
Oh yeah.
Like you could get a $4 bottle of wine, €4 bottle of wine.
Yeah.
So good. I'm like, I would have to buy $100 bottle to taste anything like this.
Okay, so what? Just on that, real quick. I found how much I loved, like the first beer we got when we were over there. We went out to dinner the first night with Ryan and Eva in Poland.
Yeah.
And Ryan and I each got a liter. And I tasted, we just a regular restaurant, all it was beer.
Yeah.
And I take a drink, I'm like, why is this one of the best fucking beers I've had? Drink the whole thing. Wasn't bloated, inflamed, feeling like nothing. I felt good. I wanted to go like out, walk around, do shit.
Yeah, we wanted to go party.
And I'm like, that goes right off of that. How many fucking breweries are in the area, in Wisconsin, in the U.S.? None of them, zero. I do not grab a single beer from any place in Wisconsin and go, oh, that's a good beer. Like, that's good. Like, compare, like, where it's like, oh, fuck, this is what beer should be. So, anyways, Kyle found it for us and gave us a sampler pack, Warsteiner. And I can drink that, and I'll have a few of those, and I don't feel like shit. and it's just casual drinking, no big deal, right? Recently I decided that like I don't get fucked up anymore.
Yeah.
I don't get drunk anymore. I'm done with it. Peer pressure me all you want. I'm not doing it. It's just not what I do. If we can't hang out because you want me to get fucked up, or like you want me to get drunk, then I'll leave. I don't need to hang out with you. It's not. You don't mean as much to me as I mean to myself.
Right.
So I decided here just a month ago that I'm done getting fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Or I shouldn't say I'm done getting drunk.
Yeah.
I'll have a joint or something, but I'm done getting drunk. So anyways, the whole thing behind this and what I'm getting at and what I noticed this weekend is people glorify being inebriated.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, all I want to do is get fucked up. And they just start drinking and they just go fucking wild. They lose all control over themselves. They have no self-control whatsoever. It's like when if I smoke a joint and I'm at a bakery, that's like what people are doing. You know what I'm saying? It's like the fucking rules are out, baby. I'm making I'm making bad decisions right now.
Yeah.
And I just see that. I saw that with so many people this weekend. It was just like drinking to get fucked up is the coolest thing. And I don't know if I'm into that as much. And I'm not into that. But anyways, what I'm getting to is, and what this topic is going to be about is what you're doing worth what you have to give up? Mm-hmm. And so, like, we went up to go fishing this weekend, and we did some fishing. But, like, at least me and a couple of the guys went up to go fishing. What I turned out was a couple of the guys wanted to fish, and the rest of the guys wanted to get fucked up. And that's cool. But, like, what I look at it, and especially for myself, is, like, is it worth me getting fucked up and then not being able to go out fishing the next morning?
Right.
To me, it wasn't worth it. It was a no-brainer. I had my couple of drinks that I wanted to have and whatever, and I hung out with the guys. But then when I was like, hey, I'm going to start really being affected for tomorrow, I called it and went back. And so I just asked myself, and, I was thinking about it, how many people do that in a week? Mm-hmm. On a normal weekend, during the week, whatever. How many people are going to the bar or doing something like that, drinking, and then what is your trade-off, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's a Wednesday night and you decide to fucking tie one on at golf, I've done it, the rest of your night's fucked. Mm-hmm. And then your next day, how impaired are you for your next day for performing at work? You know, how are you? Is that still then is your bad performance during the day at work? Does that carry into your afternoon? Do you need a nap now? Are you not feeling as good? Are you not as present with your family or whatever? Right. So is it worth the trade-off? And so then I was talking to people all weekend. And I'm observing stuff all weekend. So I'm like, okay, this just isn't about drinking. Mm-hmm. This is everything.
Right.
So I'm talking to dudes and I'm talking to guys, and they're like, man, I just love getting out on the boat. And I'm like, okay, cool, man. Yeah, like, how often you been out? Oh, I've been out twice this year. I'm like, you love getting on the boat, but you've been out twice this year? Another one, love fishing. How much you been out? This is my first time starting the boat this year. I'm like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Mm-hmm. It's August. You guys love getting out on the water. It's August. You done it twice? Once or twice? I'm like, what have you been doing? And it's like, oh, I just been busy. I've been doing some house projects and stuff. I'm like, okay, I understand that. I understand doing some house projects.
Right, but you can't go fishing for 4 hours Saturday morning? That's what
I'm saying. And it's like, but these guys, they'll tell me, about how they were able to go to the bars, and And on the weeknights, they get back and they just hang out and have some beers and maybe play video games or whatever. Maybe they're out mowing the lawn, whatever. And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, you can't find 4 hours?
Right.
You can't find 6. Let's just say it's 6 hours. You got to you got to get your shit ready. You got to get out, do a little fishing or a little cruising, load the boat back, whatever. Let's just say you can't find 6 hours every other week at least.
Right.
Oh, I was like, dude, and if that's what your favorite thing is to do, take a vacation day.
I mean, yeah, we have like some friends that love fishing, go out all the time, and still took 3 days off to just fish the whole week.
Right.
Because they had like Monday and Friday off already for holidays.
Absolutely.
It's just like, oh, well, we might as well take the 3 days off and go fishing every day for a week.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that's when
awesome.
You know you love fishing.
Right. And it's just, but the thing is, I believe the other people probably love fishing as much.
But it's just not a priority.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And they're so used to the ritual or the motions of life that they don't do that. And I like coming home and chilling is what I like to do a lot of the times because I'm usually off running and doing a lot of stuff. So, my time kind of is just chilling a little bit. But one thing I'd like to do more is go on more like longer walks. Mm-hmm. And I don't ever do it because I always just find dumb shit to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, does that like, and so it was making me like reflect on that this weekend. How much of my day is fluff, is wasted? Am I on the phone? Am I worrying about shit that doesn't need to be worried about, thinking about shit that doesn't need to be thought about in that time? And when I could just go on an hour walk or hike or whatever, Like I could easily do it multiple times a week and I don't do it.
Yeah. Like today, I mean, we came home from running around and Mimi was just like outside playing. And Shaun wanted to look at, to see if he could find a transmission for his car. But instead, because I joined him after a little bit and I was like, oh, you're not searching? He's like, no, I just wanted to watch Mimi. And so we sat there for 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
Both of us just watching Mimi. That was it.
Just be Mimi. Just do Mimi things. Mm-hmm.
It was just so nice because it was just like it was really eye-opening to be like, this is, like, she is such a priority in our life, but we never just sit there and watch her play. I mean, I shouldn't say never. We do, but only for like a minute or two.
Right.
It was just so relaxing to like actually do something like we prioritize and we love.
Yeah. So I guess the whole like premise and what I'm trying to talk to you guys about, to think about, is like, what things are you doing just to do and going through the motions and like being caught up in shit instead of doing something you actually want to do? Mm-hmm. And you can throw at me any excuse you have and I'm going to just call bullshit, because you can find an hour to do something, or you can find 6 hours once every couple weeks.
I got a great example for this.
Love it.
So I don't think we ever talked about it on the podcast. A year and a half ago, my dad was seriously ill in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
And so us 3 kids would take turns, like going and visiting him and like going in early, talking to the doctor to see like what they said, how he was progressing, all this stuff. And during that time, it really showed me how much more time I had in a day. Mm-hmm. Because I would get up early, go see him right away. I would get to work an hour later, but then I usually stay like half an hour to an hour later as well.
Sure.
And then go home, and that would be my time to like spend with Shaun, because I didn't get a morning with Shaun like I usually do. And then it was when I worked at Gold Star, so I didn't have the daytime. And then usually we would have an hour together, and then Shaun would have to go to class, or I'd have to go to bowling or something. And so we like would really, spend that hour together, talk about our days and whatnot, go do whatever. And I'd like clean the house. But I'd like, it showed me how much time I like waste on my phone, because I felt like I got so much more done in a day during those couple of months he was in the hospital, because I didn't have time to go and scroll on YouTube or Facebook or anything.
Right.
Because I had to prioritize something else in my life, then I had to fit everything else that I was fitting in a day in less time.
Right.
But it turned out to actually be the same amount of time, because I wasn't sitting there scrolling on my phone for an hour or two.
Right.
So yeah, that like really made me realize like how much more time I had in a day and how many excuses I was giving on things, but they weren't actually there.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, that's a perfect example. When you need to do something, you can find the time. The problem is, so many of us aren't willing to prioritize the things now, which then we will regret in the future.
Oh, for sure.
Because you pretty much, when you look back on things, at least this is how I do it. When I look back on things, I typically think of the good times. When I look back on things, I rarely ever think of the bad times.
Do you ever think about the test you failed on in college?
I don't even really remember. Like, I don't think of college. I don't think of classes. You know, I'm just like, none of that shit I think about.
You think about like the fun times you did, like outside of classes, outside of school.
Best example I can give, I don't ever think about the gay shit that we did in the guards. Like basic training, when we did our ATs, just our normal weekend drills when shit was like stupid. I don't ever think of that anymore. There's times I'm talking to people and I'm like, oh, I wonder why, like, why did I get out? I wonder why I get out. And then I have to sit and think and reflect and go, oh yeah, the dumb shit. Because I only think of the good things. I only think of like hanging out with the guys, having fun, training, shit like that. That's all I think about. I have to like stop and actually think of like, why don't I do that anymore? Oh yeah, it was terrible.
Want to know why I think that is? So I think that's a human feature, because look at people that have recently had kids and told us how terrible the beginning part is. But most people have more than one child.
A year later, they're having another kid and they're jacked. Wow. That's a pretty interesting point. That is so true. When the people are right in the shit of it, they're like, this fucking blows. Year later, no, it's not bad, man. It's worth it. Fucking do it, dude.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when they're in it, they're like, don't do this.
Yep.
Don't be dumb. That is a really interesting point. That is so true.
I think, and if you think back to like hunter-gatherer days, I think there's times hunters would be hunting for 2, 3, 4 days straight.
Right.
Just trying to find the prey and get it, so then they could bring it back and support their families. And I bet you they were fucking hungry during that time.
Big time. Big time. Wow.
So yeah, I think it's a
human trait.
Interesting.
Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So anyways, when you're thinking back on shit, you want to regret as little as you can. But if you're thinking back on stuff and you're not having the memories you wanted to have, and maybe you only have a couple and you're trying to figure out like why, but it's because you realize you spent most of the time at the bar, or you were playing video games, instead
scrolling
your phone, whatever, right? I mean, for some people, working too many hours, maybe.
Yeah.
That is a thing. It's a lot less common nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot less people working a lot of hours, but I don't know. I just I love things like that to remind me of like, okay, what am I not prioritizing? What am I doing that's stupid, right? So, boom.
Did you turn your knob?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Sorry, people. I'm back. Am I back? It looks like I'm back.
Yeah.
All right, cool. What you got anything?
Just on to your next point.
All right. So, what are you doing that you're giving up? Like, what are you giving up to do nothing of importance? So that's something to think about. And then the next part which I thought this was a very interesting conversation. I was chatting with, an older gentleman, retired, and I was chatting with him about life, and he worked hard his whole life. Always had like multiple jobs or on the road, worked a lot, and he's been married for over 30 years. And so I was chatting with him, and he said he believed the only reason, or the main reason that him and his wife have been able to be married for the last 36 or something years was because he worked on the road for 20 of them. And so he had to do a lot of traveling for work and stuff. And so when they spent time together, so they didn't get sick of each other because they had space. And then when they spent time together, they were both looking forward to it because they hadn't seen each other for a week or a couple weeks or whatever. And so when they would see each other, they were so happy to be together, right?
Yeah.
And so they spent their life being intentional with their time spent together. It wasn't just like every day you wake up with them, you go through the motions, you're both on your phones together, sitting there, watching TV, but you're both on your phones, you're not paying attention to each other. They were like, no, when they were together because they had to like cherish and enjoy that time because it was finite. And I thought that was a very interesting concept of like a lot of people used to stay married longer. Marriage is getting less and less and less. And a lot of people, a lot of families and stuff, the husband worked a lot to support the family. And so, there was obviously, you watch the movies or whatever, and you see the husband that comes home and the wife takes care of them and shit and whatever. And I believe that was probably a big portion back in the day. But on the other side of that is like how many people then were happy to come home from work and spend time with the wife and kids, because they were gone all day together. And you also have to think now you can communicate. I see this so much with so many people, and we're guilty of it. We work together now, so we're really fucked. But like people talk to their spouse all day long now, texting their spouse all day, or their significant other. They're texting them all day long. They're calling them all the time. They don't. You're always so fucking communicated that you don't have time to like long them.
Yeah.
Where before, dude, when you would go to work, you don't talk to that other person until you're back home. And that's just it's nothing. Most people don't live that life anymore.
No, not at all.
So you're already done talking by the time you get home. So what's there to do? Just exist together.
Yeah.
Where before, you get home, you chat, whatever, and
talk about your days, what you did, what the kids did.
Right. Be together, So the more like I love getting perspective from people who've lived it and done it, who can explain. And I love it when the people have been married. When you can talk to someone that's actually been in a committed relationship for a long time, very valuable people to talk to, I believe, because they've done what is now very uncommon. is huge. It could.
I mean, Sean and I have talked about it, like, because we work together all day now and we can communicate whenever we want. Like, honestly, our time in the afternoons is just pointless. Like, we either go do our own thing, like we each do our own thing, or we talk about the business. Like, we don't do anything that's actually like quality time together, I would say.
Right.
Nothing that like brings us closer, or like anything special.
Right.
We've tried to do date nights and it's just, we're like, oh, we'll just make a steak.
Yeah.
And build some Legos. Oh, well, something came up with the business, so we have to go do that for 2 hours.
Yep.
So it would be nice to honestly do some of that, like, separate a little bit more, like, either at work or just during the day, and see, like, if there's a difference in the, like, time we spend together when we do get it.
Right. That makes sense.
And I think it'll be different when we have kids too, because then all of our attention is not just towards each other and Mimi. Like, we have another human being that we have to be responsible for and give attention as well.
Right. Yeah. No, I like that a lot. I love it all. I think there's a lot of good points there that we don't take into account normally. You know?
It's such a weird world right now with technology and social media and everything. Honestly, like, as a population, our priorities are fucked. Our communication skills are fucked. Our instant gratification is just so bad through the roof. And it's really fucked us as a society. Divorce rates, I think, are higher than marriage rates right now. We're a declining population. Less people are having kids. And the family unit is because they call it like a nuclear.
They call it the nuclear family.
The nuclear family.
Yeah.
That makes it sound so bad and toxic.
Mm-hmm.
So
it does.
It's a bad thing if your parents are together, it seems now. And not even, like, say the least, if you're a married couple instead of a single couple, you get way less tax benefits and help
from the government.
Shit, like yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just really good for all of us to just sit down and really rethink of what our priorities are and what truly matters to us, and to try and step away from technology and what society is telling us is good and bad right now, and kind of look back at how things were in, like, the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, look at your grandparents. If you have grandparents that are still alive, like, sit down and talk to them. Ask them, like, what was it like raising kids when you were young? And I bet you could get some really good value from them.
Why don't you bring up some stuff that they haven't thought about in a while? Mm-hmm. People like that.
Yeah. I mean, Shaun and I, we both are fortunate enough to... I don't have any grandparents, and Shaun doesn't... You have 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, we could ask them, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Grandma Shirley would give some great advice.
Oh, yeah. She does, usually.
Mm-hmm. Grandma Shirley, I know you're listening to this. We're going to ask you next time we see you.
Mm-hmm. Think
about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's we do have a couple people in our life we could chat to about that, which is good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think we really need to think about what we're doing in life, and I think the technology's really fucked us. You see so much more now than you used to, so materialism has fucking gotta be up. There's no way it's not up.
Yeah, has to
like.
I think it's different now. Because you got to think, like, people that grew up in the Great Depression.
Yeah.
A lot of them are hoarders. Because they didn't have anything when they were kids.
Yeah, but most of those people are also really stingy.
True.
So they're not like, and most of them are dead now. But yeah, a lot of them were like stingy. Didn't like to spend money, like to like keep all their things. Like that.
So I think that passed on to like our parents' age.
I'm sure.
Yeah. Like some of the Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure quite a bit. Because, we deal with a lot of people in their 50s, 60s who are fucking hoarders bad.
But yeah, it was because their parents grew up in the Great Depression.
Yeah.
So
they learned those.
Yeah, they didn't give their kids anything. So now they're like, well, now I like to keep everything.
Oh, that could be it. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I could see that with, okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think that, like, you're seeing so much stuff and you're always worrying about shit. And I say all this because I'm guilty of always, like, wanting more. But how much do we get to just enjoy life now? I think if you listen to Patrick Bet David, PBD podcast, one time he talked about when he was over in a foreign country. I can't remember where. But it was essentially a war zone. Mm-hmm. And he's sitting there having dinner with people, and they're all so grateful, laughing, having wine, having a good time. And he asked them, he's like, why are you all so happy? Like, you don't have much. There's wars going on outside. Like, how are you guys all so calm and stuff? And they're like, well, tomorrow isn't guaranteed for us, so let's enjoy ourselves tonight. And it's like, boy, what a different look at the world of, like, tomorrow's not guaranteed, so let's really fucking enjoy today. Mm-hmm. And I think so many of us don't think that tomorrow is not guaranteed. And so we just go through the fucking flow and emotions, and tomorrow you is not guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Something could happen, whatever.
I feel like the people that seem the happiest are the ones that believe that tomorrow's not guaranteed.
Right.
And most of those people are ones that have had, like, some type of traumatic experience that they're like, my life is a gift.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much the topic I got for today. Mm-hmm. You got anything else?
No. I know we kind of rambled on a lot of different things, but yeah, it's just something as a whole we all need to start changing our mindset on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, we had another conversation about money today.
Yeah, we did.
And it's like, money isn't everything either. I know a lot of people who don't make a ton of money and are happy. And I know people who make good money and aren't satisfied. Mm-hmm. They're not as happy. They're just like, more. I'll fuck someone to make an extra buck sort of deal. And so that's not always good. But then on the flip side, I know people with a lot of money who are the nicest people I've ever met in my life. Mm-hmm. Most gracious, giving people I've ever met. And I guess it's kind of like anything, right? It just intensifies what you have. Mm-hmm. So I was sitting there this weekend, and it was kind of funny. Someone brought up how the two dudes that have done steroids in the room, the two, like, biggest dudes, are also the two nicest, like, the two biggest teddy bears, right? And it just goes to show that, like, the whole roid rage thing, that can happen to people because your hormones get fucked up and stuff, but typically it just extenuates, is that the word? Extenuates your current, like, beliefs, morals, everything. So if you have a short temper, it's just going to speed that up.
Yeah.
If you're kind, well, you're just going to continue being kind. Maybe you'll be more kind, right? If you're emotional, make you more emotional, whatever. And I think the same things with money. Mm-hmm. If you don't have good money habits and you start making money, you're not going to just get good money habits.
Yeah.
If if all you care about is money, you will do anything to get more money.
And the more money you have, the worse it's going to get.
Right, because you'll just do more and more. And so I think it's like you need to really, I think a lot of the time more money is good. I think, and the reason I say that is most people we know don't have a problem with being workaholics.
Yeah.
Most people we know have a problem with sitting around being lazy and making excuses. So that's why I say I don't think more money is a problem for most people. But some people, it definitely can be. And I think it's worth auditing, like, kind of like this whole topic, what we've been talking about is like, does your search for money affect the rest of your life in a negative way that if you look at it and you go, wow, that trade-off actually probably isn't worth it. Auditing that is probably a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
But honestly, for most people, I think making more money is a good thing.
Yeah.
For most people, because the last thing I'll say on that is if you look at it, spending time on your phone and going to the bar, or doing a side gig and making more money, I'm going to lean towards side gig and making more money is probably more positive for you and your family than sitting on your phone and going to the bar.
Yeah. You want to know, like, what you can do with that side gig? Gig. You can teach your kid it, too.
Oh, dude, pass it on. Fuck, yeah.
I mean, how many people... We know quite a few people that have said that they have their kids help them, or... Oh, yeah, my kid's... wants to start his own lawn mowing business. Can he mow your guys' lawns for your flips? Hell yeah, he can. Yeah. And brings him to work and wants him to learn the same skills that he's learned.
Right.
Like, it's so much more valuable than anything else you could give them.
Right. I love it. Cool, gang. That's what I got for you today. Hope you took something away from it. And pay attention when you're having conversations with people. It might get your brain going. And get you thinking about shit.
And be a listener, not a talker.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.
Catch you in the next one.